You're watching Let the Quran Speak. Now we answer questions we've received from you, our viewers. So visit our website, www.quranspeaks.com, and submit your questions to us. We'll try to get to them. Okay, Brother Shabir, here's a question. I don't gamble, but this person is saying, I don't gamble, but what happens if a Muslim gets lucky and wins the lottery? What do? Should they let the money go, or can they keep it?
I would have to assume that somehow, the person bought a ticket, or, I don't know how they would be in possession of a ticket if they don't actually. Well, I guess they don't gamble otherwise, but they might have bought a ticket, and
or maybe someone gave them a ticket perhaps as a gift.
So even if they, at one time they were into this, they bought the ticket, and now they have actually won, and now they're thinking, oh my God, what do I do with this money now? It looks like this is unlawfully earned money. And yes, in the Islamic tradition, this would be unlawfully earned money.
Why would it be unlawfully earned?
Well, we price the exchange for labor, or for some consideration. We give and we take. In the lottery or any form of gambling, usually there is a taking without giving. We win from others who are actually losing. So it is a negative sum game, as opposed to a zero-sum game where there is positive exchange between people. So this would be illegitimate in the Islamic tradition, and so one would have to give away that money in charity. It's actually mentioned in our Islamic in the traditions that prior to gambling being declared prohibited in the Quran itself, Abu Bakr had made a bet with somebody about a certain Quranic verse. Quranic verse said that something would happen, and Abu Bakr bet them that it will actually happen, and they bet 100 camels, and it came out in favor of Abu Bakr. He won the 100 camels, but by this time the Quran had already declared that gambling is prohibited, and then Abu Bakr just simply gave this prize away in charity. The verse that prohibits this is the 5th chapter of the Quran, the 90th verse, which says that drinking and gambling, these are the tools of Satan by which he causes division and enmity between people, and so you should avoid it altogether.
What about if gambling is done for charity? Can one participate in it? Let's say for some sort of foundation, or some sort of, let's say for cancer, to raise money for cancer perhaps.
Well, the principle in Islam is that while we should support charities and do good works, we should do these with acceptable means. And so since gambling is not an acceptable means, we shouldn't use it even for charitable purposes. But of course, we should find other good ways of supporting the charities.
So would it be okay then if we give the gambling money to a charity? Would that be considered acceptable?
You see, this is now the lesser of two evils, in that you have this money and it's not legitimately yours. You have to get rid of it like a hot potato. So what are you going to do with it? So the most reasonable thing in this case is not to destroy it altogether, but to give it to a charity, and to give it to such a charity that does not benefit a specific individual. Like, you wouldn't give it to an individual and say, here, buy your rations with this and feed yourself, because to us this is like putting fire in your bellies by using illegitimately earned money to buy your rations that you're going to feed on. But if you give it to such a charity that benefits, whose benefit is spread out over the population, such as, for example, let's say into cancer research. So this is not, the trace becomes now diluted by the time the benefit reaches the individual. So this is our way of dealing with something that we feel is negative, and we don't want to have any part of it. It came our way without our wanting it, so, and now we need to do away with it.
I guess the easiest thing is just not gambling.
Yes, of course. Don't buy that lottery ticket to begin with, but give your money in charity to start with instead of buying a lottery ticket.
All right. Great comment. That's all the time we have. Visit our website, www.quranspeaks.com, and check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/QuranSpeaks. As always, please continue to write to us. Your comments and questions help guide the show. I'm Sophia Ali. For all of us here at Let the Quran Speak, thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.